Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about EU-Ukraine relations with Volodymyr Panchenko from the International Center of Policy Studies and Amanda Paul from the European Policy Center. Over the past months, Ukraine-EU relations have had their ups and downs. There's been the breakthrough with the pardoning of Yuri Lutsenko, the former interior minister. But on the other side, we've seen an intensification of the cases against Yulia Tymoshenko, with the accusal of murder and the witness who came out recently and pointed the finger very directly at her. Nonetheless, it seems that there is a lot to be optimistic about in terms of EU-Ukraine relations. The deadline has been set for May to see some improvement, and of course the big question is, will the association agreement be signed in Vilnius at the Eastern Partnership Summit this November? So Amanda, how do you feel what is the feeling in Brussels right now?
Well, the feeling in Brussels, particularly in the External Action Service and in some elements of the European Parliament, is rather quite optimistic if you compare it to 1 year ago, where there was a feeling of pessimism, disappointment, and sort of a bit of chaotic approach from the EU side as to how to deal with Ukraine. There's now a much greater, there's a more coherent approach. Everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet, and there seems to be a belief that the Ukrainians have turned a corner, that they've woken up to the fact that they actually need to do something, that they've suddenly realised that they actually really do want to sign the association agreement in DCFTA after all. So there seems to have been some awakening of the reform process in Kyiv. Mr. Kyiv promised that all the necessary benchmarks and reforms would be finished by the end of May. Now that gives him, in my calculation, just a few days. So given the fact that over the past couple of years we can probably calculate on one hand how many reforms have been carried out, that seems like a highly ambitious project, but who knows, Ukraine is predictably unpredictable, so maybe the miracle will happen, but at least there seems to be an inkling that there is some movement here, there is some visible sign that they want to do something. But as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so it's not just about doing the reform, it's about implementing reforms as well. Also an area where Ukraine has an extremely patchy record, but things look better than it did 1 year ago, let's say.
What about you, Volodymyr? Do you see that there is a difference in the way the Ukrainian authorities see this process now? Has there been a real shift? Not in perhaps what they've achieved, but in where they want to go.
Yeah, Ukrainian authorities are very experienced in showing the results, so that's fine, and Europeans like that, and we see the plan until the end of 2013 on achieving the tangible results on the three issues which were announced to be achieved before association agreement to be signed. But still Ukraine has three possible scenarios, as Amanda already said, that everything is possible. So it's possible that we imitate reforms, and then that imitation does not show real way to the reforms. Then the Europeans will reject signing, which is not very likely, but if we talk about scenarios. Second, which is possibly the most likely scenario, that the authorities will accept European way as the only way for joint national identity, and that there will be for United Nations even before the elections 2015, and then at that time President will have full capacity to use the association agreement signed in November, and full year to use it.